Oh, hey Brian. Yeah, welcome. Hopefully the audio's coming in okay. See if I can move the webcam around. Yeah, hopefully the audio's coming in fine. Yeah, so yesterday I started this stream and I was doing awesome, and I was doing some of the some work on like the save system. And initially, what I started with, I was trying to save a component, but I don't think you can do that apparently, at least I couldn't figure it out. So I just ended up creating some structs, and now I was just testing it out again just to make sure that so I actually went on the other side of the river and did a quick save, and now I just wanna I took some fall damage, and I just wanted to kind of replenish this health, at least to this point, and try and reload that. So there we go. We're back on the other side of the river where I saved it, and the health is back to after my fall. The only thing is, and this is something that I'm probably going to need to figure out, um, is the items in the level. So basically, you know, I had my backpack that I've taken, but that one was not saved, right? So it shouldn't be like, I shouldn't be able to access this, right? So, but right now it's just pretty basic. It's just player stats and location. So, but it works. I mean, it's kind of a starting point. And the only thing that I need to add is probably an array list of since all these items have yeah. So since all these items have um, the same parent class. It's just a matter of creating an array of all these items that are in the level when I do save it, and it actually should be really simple. And just save that along with the player stats. So that would be the interactable items. The other thing that I'm going to be adding is the NPCs, and those will have the same stat. I mean, they're not going to have stats anyways, but the enemies will have stats, as far as like life and such. So I'm going to be saving those. Also, there is a little bit of things that I've been considering as far as saving, and but I think I might just leave it like this for now. I was originally thinking of doing saves at checkpoints, and the checkpoint would be if there's like these wilderness cameras that people put on trees to like monitor animals and stuff. So they could be like certain trees. They could be one of those cameras, but it might be a little bit confusing. So um, I mean, I think it might be more convenient for the player to be able to save rather than because being a semi-open area, I mean, it's not huge, but if what I would have to do is maybe these would be placed in these kind of funnel areas. So exactly, game mode trail cameras, but I would have to place them either like along here, where the player is definitely going to have to go through into the next level, or like the cave. So this area in between, it'd be a little bit where would I put those cameras? It'd be that kind of question. So I think for now I'll leave it as I'll leave it as just escape and save at any point, and maybe in a second iteration it might be with more of a checkpoint type. type location. I think, like for example, in Red Dead Redemption. Now I'm not comparing this to that, but I think they have just regular saves at um, any point in time. So all right, but yesterday what I was planning on doing, so I was thinking, I did a couple of streams where I was kind of adding some of the details to these little areas here and then kind of calling them done. I'm thinking, that's probably going to be a little bit repetitive to show on the stream. So what I might do for this one, since I started it yesterday, is try and finish off this this ravine type area, in terms of adding some extra detail to the terrain, kind of around the edges, do some terrain painting, maybe some rocks here in the background. And so yeah, I think that will be the plan for this stream, since it's it's a little bit different than just the repetitive nature of adding these actual details to, and rinse repeat kind of thing. Okay, well, let's get to it. So let's see, this rock I've been heavily using because it's so versatile. The only thing about it is that it's so much, like you can see the repeating thing here, so I have to be careful with that. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. So it'd be kind of a good continuation, I think, of what was going on last night, and doing it here. So that's what we'll do. So like I said, first thing is I'm going to try and see if I can position this in such a way that it's not going to be too obvious, because this one's also going to be a cliff on this side, and kind of separating these two. I'm also thinking of kind of flipping the cave. Now that I'm looking at this a little more, I'm thinking of actually flipping the cave entrance and have it be on this side. That way it would, from a kind of a natural standpoint, it's not like I mean, this could act as a ridge, I guess. Totally possible, but maybe I'll see if, I mean, this is going to be really simple to just flip this on this end, so we'll see how much I'm going to stretch this one this way, but I might do that. It might make more sense. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'll try and maybe make this flat area a little bit bigger, kind of like that. Yeah, because at this point, if I'm gonna have this ridge here, there could be another set of trees on top of it, so it might extend this out some more. So I think I might end up doing that. So kind of just flip this transition level to this side. And that's one of the things that, now that I'm doing this, I kind of like about these transition levels, is that I can take this one, duplicate this level, and also place it maybe on this end, tie it into the next area, and maybe just make some minor adjustments to it so it doesn't look so much the same. Okay, well, let's see how we can do some of this thing here. Alright, the poly count is really low, so that's good. Yeah, I think so. I think so too. Alright, let's use another one of these and place it over here. And see, this is what I'm thinking, the reason that I would want to move this, kind of flip it over to this side, you know, it's going to be, this ridge is going to continue on to that one. So you know, another thought could also be that I could join these together, these two levels, but I don't think it's worth it. I mean, they're going to get loaded. Both of them are going to be loaded anyway, so I think either way it's going to be fine. Alright, let me make sure that I'm on the right level here, because yeah, so these guys, I did a little bit of a boo-boo where I should have kept these ones painted on. I wasn't painting them on the right level. So let me move some of these into that. Well, so by a pre-made, it is a there are, like, I'm using landscape actors in here, if that's what you're asking, you know, like for example this one, but I'm not sure what you mean by your own components when it comes to, this is just regular, you know, foliage painting, and maybe you can clear that out a little bit. Oh, well, actually, that's just another. So what I did, I'll just move these two. What I did is actually just since this one here is a separate level, and I mean it doesn't have to be in the same level, but I've just created another landscape actor, and like for example here there's this one, and there's also this one, and let's take a look. As you can see, they're both, hopefully this is visible, so they're both in the same level, and the only thing that I did, I've applied the same landscape material to both. And now I have, I could have just used one now that I'm thinking about it, but you know, you could potentially, what you could do, like for example, especially you know, in some cases you could just use, for example, a simpler material instance with maybe less layers that could, you know, ease on the shader complexity. So, but hopefully that gives a little bit of an explanation of why that is that way. And as far as these top ridges here, I didn't want to create another landscape. Oh, cool. Yeah, for example, I like these trees because they're covering a lot of background. Alright, let's spread some more around this corner here. So see, this little funnel here could act pretty well for my, to slow the player down a little bit. So at the same time, it's kind of so you can't see into the next level once the player is, about here. Right. So when he enters, I'm going to be loading the next level, and then once he gets to this point, I'm going to unload the level behind me. Now hopefully I won't have to go back and update these too much because I have a tendency sometimes of doing that, but yeah. Alright, so that's pretty good there. Let's work a little bit on kind of the ground details here. So one of the things that I wanted to do is there's like a little bit of a lower area here, so we can do some painting, kind of just add some more variety to this. So let's see. I think I'm going to try and paint a little bit of the kind of the rock thing around here. And some of the rocky grass as well. It's interesting how much things change once you just paint the terrain. Maybe do a little bit of a kind of a muddy area around here. Let's see how it would look if it's like kind of puddly. Something like that. Could work. do a little bit more dirt. I mean the kind of the rocky surface. Yeah, pretty much. I mean that's what I was thinking that I'm gonna be, because you know you could go pretty crazy with open world scenario, but I mean, being that I'm doing this by myself, and there's other things that you need to touch on as well, not just um, the level design. I'm gonna try and keep it simple for now. Hey, salut, salut. Josh, salut. How's it going? Yeah, and I mean, in the end, the other addition that uh, that exists in here is let me add one of the other levels that I have as a surrounding level. So bear with me for 1 second here. Oh, no worries. I think I'm gonna be doing some more streaming on YouTube because it seems like more people participate and comment on it. It might be easier to find it on Twitch. I'm not sure. It could be. But Walter von Throthia, hopefully I said that right, is the straight edges with terrain and rocks is something that I'm pretty much doing. I'm doing stuff like, actually, let me hide these. So yeah, as you can see here, is not very well fleshed out. It's kind of straight, but I'm pretty much using some of these meshes to kind of ease that transition. Also I'm scoping the terrain up and down, like around here. So see, this one's a better example. Like there's some of these meshes that I'm using at the bottom of the cliffs to give it not necessarily a slope, but a easier transition. And also sculpting the terrain like this, and a bunch of rocks that are at the bottom of the cliffs, like so. Like for example, these down here, and this stuff around here. And also some of them, what I've been doing is, as you can see, is like kind of on a slope here. I've been trying to also angle these cliffs. So a good example would be like here, right? And sinking them into the ground some more. So there's like a transition, and there's like these kind of ridges. So, well, this one's like going into the rock, so I might just move this rock around a little bit. So yeah, you have these kind of ridges here, as well as over here. These kind of different levels, so to speak. I'm no level designer or game developer by trade. This is all self-taught, so my lingo is lacking. It's kind of the same thing when you fix a car. I need that part that is like connected to this, and it's doing that, but I don't know what the name of it is. So yeah, that's pretty much how I'm dealing with these edges. And if you look at this little canyon ravine kind of thing, I've tried to do a bunch of changes in like the slope of, or like just sculpt the terrain up a little bit. Yeah, that's what I am. So also And yeah, I mean, besides this, there's also the dressing up of. So I'm gonna be doing that now. Is dressing this up with. Let me see. Where's my content browser? Oh yeah, I heavily reuse these rocks. Like I have 2 big meshes for the cliffs, and then 3 meshes for the bigger rocks, and then probably about 10 for the smaller rocks that I also scale up a little bit every now and again because just a different sizing. So, and as far as like trees, I'm definitely gonna cut back on the variety of trees. I have way too much vegetation, I think, at the moment, and hopefully that will definitely help with some of the performance or and some of the memory, the texture memory usage. Okay. Well, so as I was saying, so around here, what I wanted to add is there's a couple of meshes from Quixel that I've been using quite a lot, and those are very nice. Let's see, where are they? Here, 3D assets. Da, 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 da. So one of them is, and definitely going to use it here, are these cliff edges. I'm not entirely sure because Quixel has these weird naming convention. So stuff like this to break up that line as well will definitely help. Um, and now that since they all use the same uh, the same maps aside from the detail map, I think they blend in pretty well. So, stuff like this. And definitely very useful for like hiding um, some of the repetitiveness that can happen from some of those meshes that I keep on using. So stuff like that, and now they can act as very nice ledges to paint some I was gonna say moss, to paint some ferns because I love ferns, and yeah, I think this one could look pretty well if it's like at about that height. So those are 2 of them that I've been using quite heavily. The other ones, and I'm going to be adding them in here, are a log, so a couple of logs, and let's see if I can find them, because for whatever reason this is another thing with the exporter. It creates like a 3D asset and then 3D assets. Not sure why, but they do, or surface and surfaces. And yeah, their naming is, I mean, why would you name it like that? I know they have a lot of assets, but they don't have that many that they can't like do a electrical box 01. So Brian, I'm not gonna have that. It's definitely something that was on my mind for this, but it might be a little bit too much at this point. So unfortunately, there won't. The only thing that's gonna be is different times of day. So depending on, and I'm debating whether to have this at the start of the game. So like right now, this could be sunset, or it could be overcast, or it could be dusk. Dusk looks kind of horrible, so don't mind that. Or it could be night. So at nighttime, it's actually kind of cool. But I'm debating whether I should have this as a kind of a random at startup, and so I'm still kind of playing around with that idea as to what to do when the game starts to change that, and because the player also can sleep, right? So in where the bunker is and your kind of the friendly NPCs they're gonna meet, you can sleep and regain your stats. The and that could be, well, a sort of dynamic. It's not necessarily dynamic, but what that would do is advance the day. So for example, if you're during the day and you go and you sleep, then it'd be sunset. You sleep again, it's going to be night. You sleep again, it's going to be day. So in that term of dynamic, it could, I mean, at this point, it could definitely be the way I currently have this set up. I could definitely make the sun move, but then again, I have to like factor in the difference, kind of blending in between the day and morning and dusk and evening. So those would be some of the things to consider. Yeah, so this is one of the assets that I've been using, this log, and it originally came like this. This is actually, I really like this log in particular. So it came like this, and then I went to Blender and I just split it up into two. So now I have a stump, I have a dead log that I can like rotate around and flip around on the terrain, and I have this full one, which is kind of like where a tree died. So yeah, definitely a pretty versatile one as well. And the other one that I also have and I really like is this particular one, this particular mesh. And I'm debating whether I should keep it or not. It's just kind of adding a little bit extra in terms of like the memory usage. It's kind of nice for like some scatter rocks, especially like at the bottom of a cliff like so. But it does have a kind of a uniqueness in its one of these rocks. It looks pretty like this one. It looks kind of pointy, and I mean, I do like them in all honesty. So there's that, and then the other one, I think it's in let's see, moss. It's these mossy rocks. Oh, actually not that one. I have two of them, so I've decided to only go and use one of them. So that's another one. That could definitely be used again as scattered type rocks. And last but not least is this, I believe. Is it this one? Yeah. So it's this granny rock assembly, and this one is actually, you can like scale it up quite a bit and has some pretty decent decent details in it. And it was also kind of versatile because I was able to export it to Blender and do some of these changes to it, you know, where I have it like kind of sloped up or at an angle. So it could be added to an area like so, like around here, for example, you know, like this one. And let's scale it up, maybe 2. I think it can go to 3. So, you know, something like that. No, they're not. They're not world aligned. They're since they're all scans. I didn't go through getting them to be world aligned. And you know, especially when it comes to, like, for example, like this surface, you know, that has some moss on top of that. All of that is just applied using a mask, because, you know, since this one originally was a scan, I wanted to keep the detail, right? So you get these little sharp edges and all these kind of creases in it, but then I wanted to be able to tile the base material, which is this kind of mossy rock, whatever you want to call it, and then on top of that be able to control the actual moss, you know. So so that's how I ended up with this type of material that I've been using for all my other rocks, and you know, like around here, and I think they blend in pretty well. Yes, it does. It definitely does. I really like that. Yeah. So there's again the same mesh, but, or not the same mesh, but the same texture set, and I'm gonna try and use this in the corner here and see if I can, like, sort of fit it in somehow. I'm not sure how that's gonna work, but we'll give it a try, I guess. Oh no, it's just a mask. This one here is just a mask, and you could potentially so this, you know, you can change the mask from, you can make maybe 2 or 3 materials and just have different masks for some of these rocks. But in the end, I was thinking, you know, you don't really notice it. So, I mean, if you change the mask, it's not going to be um, anything noticeable. And so, yeah. And that's that's exactly Antrotia. That's how I feel about it. There's like a lot of stuff that and you know, now that you know, whenever I play some video games, I'm definitely more critiquing um, than probably most people are. You know, like I would look at something and it's like, oh well, look at that. There's like texture stretching on this little log here. But I'm willing to bet that 99% of the people that play that game will not notice that. Or if they do, probably they won't care as much as I do, for example. there we go. So now I was able to use some of that because I was a little stuck on that for whatever reason. So I was trying to use it somehow. I'm gonna make use of it no matter what. Yeah, but now that corner looks pretty interesting. You know, there's something going on there. I mean, we're natural, I guess, natural sort of. Well, thank you. Yeah, I think it's turning out okay. Yeah, the one thing that I'm not too happy at the moment, especially with these rocks. I'm not sure why I turned the color down. So did I change the color overlay? I guess I did. For whatever reason, I changed the color overlay a little bit too much, and they looked like they weren't blending in very well with this mesh itself. So they're definitely different, you know. But and I'm kind of debating whether to use them here. Well, so I haven't noticed that much. I mean, at least the way that I've been doing this. Um, and then again, like I said, all these rocks, aside from these, and I'm still debating whether I'm going to change these. So all these bigger rocks, like these ones, the only thing that is special to them is the normal map, and their normal map, I believe I made it to be 2K. And all the other ones, like the moss and this rock texture, is the same throughout. And I'm debating whether I'm going to use that for this surface as well. You know, for these granite rocks. So at that point, that the texture memory is going to drop quite a bit. I mean, further than what I currently have it at. Yeah, see, this one is kind of pixelated. I think this is a little too big, so. That's better. There's definitely things that I'm probably going to keep on the way they are, like this log, for example. You know, um, yeah, and I mean, they would look really, in my experience, they look really good with um, even if you just completely use a basic texture. I mean, actually, they won't look so good, because check this out, for example, like this one. If I was to completely remove the detail intensity, this is how it would look. I mean, it would still look good, don't get me wrong, but uh, having that detail in it is definitely pushing the details further. Yeah, so Oh, they're definitely usable. Don't get. I mean, they're totally usable in my view. And I mean, with Unreal 5, you could potentially just use the extremely high or like the high poly one, which is I think it's 100 megabytes, but still, you can use that. Oh no, these are all from Quixel. So yeah, I believe, for example, like if I was to look at this rock, um, well, I can give you the, yeah. So see, like that rock is 2K, but it's this. Uh, if you want to take a look at the rock that I'm using here, is this whatever you call that. I think it's under some kind of mossy rock from Quixel's library. Hopefully that's helpful. Yeah, and the other thing that I've also been using, and which I really enjoy, this is like one of the fun things about this is sure if it was it Ivy or they have this thing on the marketplace. Yeah, I mean you want to be a little careful with it, but this is something really cool. Where was that thing? It's like a smart spline that creates Ivy. So let's see, I'm wondering if it's this one. Creates Ivy, creates roots. It's really awesome. So it's this thing here. So you can get some Ivy like that, which is really cool. Though I'm not entirely sure how you would set this up. I mean, it just kind of hugs the meshes that it sits on, but stuff like that is nice. And you can turn it into into a mesh. But I think that is nice like that. Once it spreads on the rock. And there's a ton of stuff that you can control. I haven't even like scratched the surface with this. And this is just one of the types. And that's one of them. There's like this climber thing here that is pretty similar, but I think it just makes it so that it extends out some more. But it definitely is that a little bit of extra detail in some of the scenes. Let's see. I think there's like how much it's gonna spread out. Where was that? Yeah. See, there's like so many things in here that I can't even figure out which one it is. I'm not sure if it's this one. But anyways, even just the basic stuff is still plenty for this, so something like that. Yeah, one of the things that sometimes is kind of, since it follows the collision of the mesh, if the collision is not very exact, it's just gonna look a little weird, I guess. So there, that's I don't know. That's kind of a little too busy. So use in moderation. Let me see if this would work to kind of make it off of this one. And this one likes to spread out quite a lot. See if I move it higher up. There we go. I think that's better. So something like that. And maybe, let's see, what if I bring it to the top so it doesn't look so weird. Whoa. But yeah, it's definitely a very nice little extra thing in there, you know, to have. And the fact that it's dynamic, that helps a lot, especially. I mean, there's some assets on the marketplace that have these some of these Ivy meshes, but they're not. You would have to kind of mold them or like arrange the rocks so that they work. Yeah, but this particular one, this one just works. You know, then again, you have to you know, play around with them a little bit, but it adds a little bit more to it. And you know, you have some of these logs they add in, you know, that might have fallen off the cliff. Yeah, you know, to some extent it can be. So, all right, let's add a little bit of some more vegetation, maybe some ferns. That's another thing that I like about ferns and these trees. Not those in particular, but these ones. You know, they cover a lot of view, so you can potentially create a row of these and not worry about what's behind them. You know, and that's something that I've been trying to do here. You know, just kind of blanket, not necessarily blanket, but use as you know, a few of those, so you know, just blocks the view from, you know, what's behind there. So there we go. Let's get into some veggies. Yeah, I think it does. And actually, I don't think I like those very much. Let me go to my persistent level so I can use the same ferns that I have there, as well as maybe some of the bushes. And I think this is it. So foliage fern. Um, fern. This particular package, I mean, has some pretty good looking ferns, but you know, they work out. I might just end up changing them with some of the Quixel ferns. One to two. Let's see. Align to normal. No. So I think these are just going to be kind of a single placement fern type thing. I just want some kind of bigger size. something like that. Hey, Mike. So before Unreal, so I've started using Unreal a couple of years ago. I mean, maybe a couple of years and a month. And my experience is self-taught. So, but yeah, considering the learning curve, um, moving from CryEngine to Unreal, and building the levels and all that, and going through a few iterations. Yeah, so like I said, it's been a couple of years since I've been starting to work on this project in Unreal. And that involves setting up the AI, setting up the inventory, setting up iterations, interactable items, AI, I mean NPC dialogues, kind of getting an idea of how I want to build the levels. So yeah, a couple of years. But in all honesty, it's been a couple of dedicated years. So it's I've been outside of work. I've been investing some time into it. I won't lie. But hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, I totally get that. It is tough. I'm not gonna say it isn't, because I've had times where I've had low motivation and stuff like that. So it is, um, but you just want to keep coming back to it. That's one of the things that I love about it. It's a lot of fun, and sometimes, like right now, I have the latest that Unreal, the Hitman game that was out for free on the Epic Store, and I'd rather do this. I want to play that game too, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather do this. So it's and also this is one of the things that I used to do in the beginning. I used to just paint these grasses, and as you can see, they look a little bit odd, especially like this cluster here. But once you paint something that's kind of closer to the ground, like so, they actually help. In my view, they definitely help blending it in. And if you sparse some, the big thing about it is you can have the same kind of grass, but if you have some different varieties in height, that helps a lot. Like something that I did was it was like an open area where I painted some more grass, is like around here, you know, so there's like, you know, actually there's a couple of different grasses, so there's, you know, kind of a variety in the height of grass. And, you know, some of the stuff I'm going to trim down, I think, just probably would help the performance and especially the view distance. Oh yeah, yeah, no problem. I mean, I was saying earlier that I've been previously streaming on Twitch, but I've actually noticed more engagement with people on YouTube. So hopefully, uh, I'll continue on doing YouTube. Maybe that would be better as well. So it'd be hopefully more engaging for people also. Not sure how big I need to make this thing to like actually go onto the other side, but I think I might just give up on this one and just use a regular log. I mean, the little cutoff thing that I have. Kind of like it there, but at the same time, it's kind of not really. Yeah, I don't know. Probably just gonna set it up so that it's one of those trees that fell off and just fell in the ravine. Oh, let me try something real quick. I want to see how the player is gonna look in here. Maybe we'll try and take a look if we make it at night. One of the things that I really enjoy with playing around with this lighting is you know, adding like one of those things. I always think that this stuff looks kind of cool. And it usually looks even cooler if it's on next to like a puddle. I mean, you know, reflections are cool, but you know, like around that little swampy area or something like that. But yeah, let's. I wanted to try and see. Where's my player at? And there's a player. Yeah. Bad size. I know. I wanted to see how it looks with the flashlight. Interactive equipment flashlight. I think this is it. Oh shoot! Now I can't see nothing. Where'd the flashlight go? Oh, I'm not loading the. I'm not loading those levels. Blueprint. So I'm doing all of that. Let's see if I load stream level. So right now I'm just in the level blueprint, and this is where I initiate my character, the HUD, loading the game widgets, setting the stats. So let's try and see if I maybe if I load the oh, and the levels window is hidden if you don't have the main viewer on. If you have a different tab, this window does not show for whatever reason. So let's see if I forest transition level 3. Forest level. Let's see if that one is gonna get loaded. Okay, there you go. I think that should be loaded now. And there's my flashlight because I've added it to the other level. And I need my backpack. Hopefully you won't have to do this in the dark, but oh, thank you. Yeah, I think it's working out okay. Where am I? Oh, I'm not there yet. Oh, there we go. Okay, this kind of looks pretty good at night, I would say. Maybe the flashlight could use a little bit more, you know, a little bit more strength. It's kind of dim, don't you think? Yeah, it looks pretty good up close, but yeah. So Straw Hat, hey, welcome. Sugoku, thank you. Well, and the other thing is, let's equip the compass as well. So now we can like you know, orient ourselves, and we're going this way is going to be west. So basically a lot of the directions that are going to be given by the NPCs are going to be on a kind of a cardinal type location. Brian, are you saying for the flashlight to make it wider? I think it also needs to go a little farther, not if not farther, be a little stronger. But yeah, so this is also the and whatever you want to equip or unequip something, it's just like 2 or 1. Yeah, so you're thinking like the flashlight could be made a little wider than this. I think I also need to remove some of, like, I've added these particles to kind of simulate the dust in the flashlight light cone. So maybe they're a little too strong. Yeah, and deeper. Okay, let's actually try that out. I think this area for now is done. I mean, this is pretty much what I've intended of doing with it. It's just going to be kind of rinse and repeat for this section. So that should be. I'm probably going to do that off the stream. But yeah, as ending for the stream ending, let's try and see if I can do that for the flashlight. And Son Goku, yeah, the rocks and they're from Megascans as well as the textures. They're not the original textures that these cans come with, because I just wanted to cut back on some of the memory usage, and a lot of these scans are from like different parts of the world, so their textures are different, so they don't really work well together in my view. And so that's why I just created something that's kind of a uniform texture across all these meshes, a uniform material. And the only thing that's kept from Megascans is the normal map that I use for detail. So, kind of the little extra little creases or, sharp edges. Okay, well, let's take a look at the flashlight, and maybe we can find a happy medium. That'd be pretty cool. And yeah, Straw Hat, I'll show you some of the rest of the UI. That was just kind of the player UI, but I'll show you how the menu is as well. So let me take a look at the flashlight and make the equipable, interactable. I think this might be it. So spotlight. Let me drag one of them in the level. Yeah, I think the cone could definitely be longer. The one thing that I don't want to overdo is the fact that you're going to use this indoors as well, and it might look a little overpowering at times. So let's see. Why is this not on? Spotlight. I guess that one is on. Oh yeah, the intensity is somehow kind of honky with this. I think that's what it was. Let me try this again. So there we go. Hey AK Benji, do you mean the mesh is imported from Megascans? Okay, well let's see how this one would react a little bit better to. Oh, I couldn't tell you. I do not use Maya. It yeah, that's maybe that for your mesh that is it, can you see it if you look at the mesh from the other side, can you see that face? I'm wondering if that face is flipped, like the normal of it is flipped the other way, you know? Hey Andratia, thank you so much for stopping by. Um, yeah, hopefully we'll see you on the next one. Well, thank you. Oh, well, so this is not it's not a horror game. This is just kind of the nighttime setting. Okay, so Brian, you're saying to widen the middle area a little bit. Let me see how that can be done. There's that. So that's kind of increasing the range of it. Make it a 3000. Yeah, because the other thing that I have on here is, I believe, a like IES texture. So I think that also affects things in a certain way. Well, I think that's better. Let's give this a try. Oh, so Straw Hat, I was telling you I was going to show some of the menu. So this is how this looks, and you know, once you go into settings, This is how the settings themselves look in here. You know, so you can you have this kind of accordion look to it. And that's why I wasn't streaming as much this week, because I was working on some of this. Yeah, that's what I'm just gonna try and do, Brian. I was just gonna play with the range a little bit. But yeah, Straw Hat, this is how it looks. And when you quit the game, the main menu looks pretty much similar to this. So, and then there's just the quit part of it. So let's take a look and see how the flashlight is looking now. I think it's a little strong, but I think the distance and the width of it, I think it might be a little bit better now. I think I might have gotten lost a little bit. I mean, I guess the nighttime setting could definitely warrant the use of the compass, you know. Yeah, I mean, it looks like you're wearing a headlight from a car on your arm right now. It's a little strong, but I think as far as distance goes, I think it's pretty good. I might just see like a close distance is a little strong, so I might want to tweak that down a little bit. But as far as how far it goes, maybe the volumetric intensity could be brought down as well. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that the original developer had it in a way that it was. I mean, it's not bad to be generic, but I just wanted to make it different, and I ended up just completely changing everything. From because his was popping up this little widget on the side, and that had the different functionality, so I just scrapped a bunch of it. But it was definitely a good starting point. Good starting point. So. Alright, so I kind of have the intensity of, because right now I changed it to use the IES intensity. So right now I've made it half of what it was. So let's take a look and see if that made any changes. Well, I think it did. Could potentially be a little lower. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm quite happy with how the level started, and then after I made a bunch of edits, changes to it, I think it looks pretty okay. That's the basic idea behind it, is just the your basic kind of foresty area, and then between these level clones, I'm going to be adding some different terrain details, like this bigger mound in the middle or on the side, or just to give a little bit of variety. But overall, the small and micro details are going to be kept the same. The large details, like these cliffs and where they appear, those are going to be different. So I think, I think the IES, if I look on this square here, it definitely showcases it a little bit better. And And I think that works pretty well. Oh, the one thing that oh, yeah, I used the original, Brian, if you're familiar with it, it is Menu Builder Carousel, I think is. I'm not sure if that's the name on the marketplace, but yeah, it had a really good foundation, and I tweaked a bunch of it. But yeah, I used that as a starting base, and I think it was a pretty good one. So Straw Hat, this is a transition level. That's what I'm using it for. So the same goes, for example, let's switch to daylight so we can see a little bit better. So this is a transition level. Let's see what else. This here is going to be a transition level. Oh yeah, this is one of the things that I was like kind of cool that I did. And it's this, and I actually had it on a different stream where you have like the little water running down your eyes. And this is also a transition level here. So this wall is going to have a climbing mechanism on it that I have working, and also from the marketplace, and implemented into my project. So you're going to be able to climb up this way, or if you find it, you're going to be able to go down this path. So given a few options there, and depending on which one you take, like this one is going to lead into another clone of this level, which is going to be kind of at an angle over here, and this one is going to do the same, another clone that's going to be over here, and both of them are going to have kind of different challenges, is what I'm thinking, be it in the way the enemy NPCs are going to patrol, or the kind of the variety in terrain as well, and navigation. Brian, that's actually a good. That's actually some good thinking. That's a good suggestion of having a level save on level transitions. Um, I'm debating whether to do that. I'm not entirely sure if there's going to be like a small freeze up when that happens. So, right now I'm only saving very small amount of data. But once I'm going to be factoring in all the interactable actors in the level, the NPCs, the enemy characters, along with some of their stats, like the dialogues that they've been through, the health level of the enemy NPCs, it might, I'm not sure if it's going to work out so well. Or, I mean, I'm not sure if there's going to be any freeze-ups. I'm thinking, in the grand scheme of things, that's not a ton of data, but at the same time, it'd be something. It's going to be easy to do once I have the save system fully in place, and everything, all the data that is needed is being saved. But I guess we'll have to find out. Oh, so since some of you guys just joined, since I think this area is going to be done, and there's like a little bit of how do you say it, rumble in the jungle when it comes to my stomach right now. It's just it's in on a food need type situation. And since some of you just joined, I thought I could show you a few of the a few of the I'm drawing a blank right now. The combat combat possibilities, actions. Okay, so one of them is gonna be the stealth takedown. Now this guy he's gonna be able to hear you if you actually, let me crank up the volume a little bit. So you can probably hear the steps on the ground. Well, if you get too close, he'll be able to hear it as well. And you know, this is kind of an example. So there's, depending on the surface you're on, there's going to be different different sounds. Okay, but so he'll be able to hear you, and so you will need to, you know, go into crouch mode. And if you listen, hopefully you can hear it. In crouch mode, the noise is a lot less. You know, it's not as noisy. So he has a certain acuity or a certain strength of hearing, and so that's part of what he'll be able to listen. So, you know, there's you know, kind of strength takedowns, and so once you take him down, you'll be able to, you know, kind of drag the body and hide it. So I'm debating. I've wanted to have this in place because I'm thinking maybe in the future I'll have something that I'll add to the AI, the possibility of detecting dead bodies, so they would go into, and I think that should be pretty simple, so it'd probably not be in the future, it'd be for this version. So once they detect the body, they would go into a different state, you know, they would go into like a investigate state, so they would start patrolling around the area. Well, so this is basically one of the interactions as far as you being able to kill this guy. Well, the animation works. I'm not entirely, you know, 100% happy with it, but it's there and it does its purpose. Okay, so the other option would be, let's see, knife, or oh, and I need to grab a backpack. But you could get a pistol and you know, do either just you know, kind of shoot him. Oops, that was loud. But you know, they would shoot back at you. Right now, he's kind of his bullets do not do any damage, because I wanted to test and see how my bullets react. But if you shoot him, you'll see that he kind of reacts. Whoops! Oh, my bullets were going all out weirdly. But yeah, so the other thing you can do is you can do the knife. Actually, I thought that, oh, I need to press 2. So the knife also works in a similar fashion. Now he's like pissed off because he's out of bullets. But it would be kind of, as you can see, he doesn't have any collision, so that's why I can't really hit him. But the knife would be a kind of a one-hit kill, and it'd be also kind of the stealth way to do it. Now the other thing about it is you can craft stuff, and for example, let's see, this is a silencer, and I need a bottle, I believe, for this, and duct tape, and I think a rag. So, and a rag. So I can show you how the crafting works. So the crafting basically works like this. Let me first unequip this. So with the crafting, you need a recipe, and what you need to do is like inspect the recipe, and on the recipe you'll see all the items. I mean, they're kind of written on the recipe, so it kind of looks a little cool. But you'll see there's like one plastic bottle, a piece of rag, and a piece of duct tape. And if you have those items in your inventory, right now I didn't have any icons for these 2 items, so unfortunately it is what it is at this point. But if you do have him, you will get an option to craft the item. So right now you'll see that in your inventory you have a silencer, and what this one's going to be doing, you'll be able to equip this to the pistol, and so you get a silencer pistol. And so that's how crafting would work. And at this point currently I have this kind of silencer thing that you can craft, and there's also a snare trap that you can craft. There's the campfire that you can craft, but those I'm probably going to be using maybe later in the process, when I hope that I'll be able to do some more of the survival aspect of this. Okay, the other other items that you can interact with are such things as doors. So I'm not sure why this one thinks it's a water bottle. Let me see if I can find that door somewhere else. At least I was hoping that I could. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so here's that. Oh, actually, I just wanted to... This door, for whatever reason, has a weird decal on it, because I wanted to make him a little bit individualized, I think. So let me try and remove that or hide the decal. There you go. And so let's set it to invisible. So I can show you how some of the... There's going to be certain areas in the game that are tied to the story, and they might have some of these kinds of doors on them. Now this is also from a pack that was on the marketplace, and that I ended up exporting into Blender and creating my own door, and using the same kind of the same base for it, but changing some of the textures, and so it doesn't look like the one that is always the same. Alright, so let's take a look at how this one interacts. So some doors are going to be... Oh, come on, you freaking duct tape. It's also a matter of where I'm looking at the door. I'm not sure why this one in particular is... I got caught in that duct tape. Let's see. Anyways, I guess the pickup compass was a weird thing. So there's going to be doors like this that, and I need to push this out a little bit. I guess the camera is not really showing the numbers. But there's going to be, besides regular doors, you know, there's like lockpick doors. They need to lockpick, and also some of these more high-tech doors where you need a code. And, you know, you can press the buttons, and fortunately that wasn't it. I can't remember which one. I think it might have been 0000. There you go. So, and these doors, once they open, they're kind of distance based, and as you can see, I need to fix this because the back side of it is like empty. But this is how this door behaves, and there's a little bit of things that I need to do to it. Also some other, as far as you being able to travel around certain levels, are going to be this escalator. I was almost going to say escalator, but this elevator. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say, elevator. So this is particularly going to be come in use in the bunker, and as soon as it reaches that top floor, this is how, you know, the doors open and you can exit. And let's take a go back down to the bottom. Yeah, the door light, it does turn green. I'm not entirely sure. I think I might have messed up something in the material. Once I changed, so what I did is I changed some of the way the materials are applied to this door, since I've redid it in Blender, and now there's like two materials. There used to be only one, and so I think it's the index of the material that I might have messed up. Okay, well, so that's one kind of you know, aside from like all the other random items that are just simple interactable items, that's one of them. And one thing that I wanted to do is you can't go wrong with Tappy Chicken, so I wanted to implement one of the projects that Epic had from oh shoot, actually let me I'm not sure. I think I might have made the emissive color for this a little too big, so let me see if it works better at night. Maybe it's not gonna be as strong, but so you know, after some tweaking in materials and all that, let's see, I suck at this game. But since that I was mentioning earlier that little, yeah, I suck at it. Anyways, since that bunker that I was mentioning, yeah, is like a safe area, this would be one of the things that you can interact with and such. Well, so the other things that you're going to be able to interact with, well, actually, this is how like the dialogue is happening, and no, I don't want to continue. Jeez, leave me alone. I fell into a hole. Right. So let's take a look at some. Quickly show you a little bit of lockpicking. So since I was saying that, there's also going to be the possibility of doing lockpicking in here. Let's see, I'm not sure if this door... Okay, so this is a lockpick door, but you need to find some lockpicks, right? So it's going to check to see if you have lockpicks, and I believe there's some lockpicks there. So let's lockpick this door, and oh, that was weird. But you know, a simple lockpicking game. It's weird that it placed it. So yeah, a lot of this is like implementing some of the projects that are from the marketplace, because you know, as a single developer, you gotta save time. So okay, this is getting frustrating. Sorry, but you kind of get the idea. The problem with that is skill levels. No, it's just gonna be, they're all gonna have the same complexity. I think the lock picking. I'm not sure if I got that in here. I think the lockpicking project, or the from the original developer, they have a so that's the dot product there. This is what I was. This was the little issue with the camera. It's just that being that there's going to be different types of doors, I just wanted to make it a little bit dynamic. So the project did have various levels of difficulty for the lockpicking, but I just, you know, sometimes I played some of these games that that have it, and I would get frustrated. There would be times that, okay, there is already so many lockpicks that I have to go through, and some of them are like I gotta try like 2-3 times, and that's, you know, I get it, you know, it extends the playtime and all that, but to me it was frustrating. So I thought, you know, I'll probably not frustrate the player more than they need to be, because as you can see, I'm having a hard time with it. So this is basically how it's supposed to be looking, like in front of the um, in front of the in front of the door latch. So, finally, there you go. So now the door, now you can open the door. And let's see, what else? What other functionalities? Okay, so there is also something that would extend, the time. There's stuff like this. So you would like enter in between, like kind of shimmy along a rock, so to speak. So that's one of them. I'm not sure why I didn't exit out of that. There's going to be, oops, I guess there's something that I need to fix. Yeah, another thing is going to be like crawling. So for example, there's going to be, oops, I'm kind of inside of a rock. So there's going to be like crawling through certain spaces, so kind of like this. And this is going to follow a path. So if it's like a space that you need to crawl and it curves, it's just going to follow the path. So you'd be able to look around, but you wouldn't be, the only controls you'd have at this point is forward and backwards. So that's another thing. There's also going to be interactions for you to like turn on specific items, where for example you open the fuse box and then you flip the switch, and this switch, once you flip it, turns on some lights or shuts off a security camera in that regards. The other thing that, where's the dog? Yeah, you can pet the dog. Oh, there it is. There he is. And right now it's a little off, the placement of the animation and where you pet the dog. But a little bit of a side mission is going to be to feed the dog. And the other type of door that is going to be in the level is kind of a timed interaction. So for example, like in this case, you have to hold the interact key for the thing to actually work. So, and unfortunately the gorilla or the Godzilla sound was just the only one that I could find for that metal cranking thing. And of course you'll be able to push things as well. So I'm not sure if this one was one of the items that you were able to push, but yeah. Oh, so I was talking about sleeping. You'd be able, I'm not sure if this is one of the interactable beds that you can sleep on. You probably recognize some of these characters from the marketplace. That was the only thing that I could afford to buy. They were cheap. So, and they're pretty well designed. They look quite okay. I guess, this one is pretty much quality of this guy, so they could kind of fall along the same, into the same relation as far as, they fit together. And this is a Mixamo character that looks not as well as the other one, but still it's in that range. So, just trying to keep him somewhat unified as far as the quality of those. So yeah, those are a few of the interactions, and once you not sure which one of these guys I can talk to. I know I had one of them that had a dialogue. Oh, there we go. So his name is None. Well, it's not None, but this is how you would interact with one of the NPCs, and they can do depending on the dialogue that they currently have. They can you can set it up so they'd either tell you to follow them, and at that point you'd be getting the next mission, or they point you. So basically, they would literally put their hand out and point to somewhere where you need to go. So that's kind of how you interact with, or like what these guys can do. And so yeah, all in all, in a nutshell, that's some of the basics. Oh, another cool thing that I did is come on, I don't want to talk to you. Is the ability to distract enemies. So one of the enemy distractors is items such as this little washer here that I'm not sure if you can hear it, but it creates a noise, and enemy will come to investigate, and while their back is at you, you can hide inside this, and you'll be able to see outside. I was playing around and it messed up the transparency of this. So, and you know, once you see him that he's like kind of paying attention to this, you can just go behind him and, you know, take him out. So yeah, I mean that's a few of the things that I've added, you know, along with, you know, the interactable items that are pretty basic, you know, pistol, knife, you know, edible things, rechargeable, you know, kind of magazines to recharge the pistol. Let's see, is there anything else that I'm missing? Yeah, I think at least for now that would be pretty much it. There's I can show you real quick as a last thing to close this off. Bunker level. Yeah, sure, save it. So I can show you a few more of the items that you can interact with in here. Yeah, the distraction thing was really fun to do. Oh, there it is down here. Oh, really? That's cool then. Okay, so is it here or where is it? Oh, it's right here. So right now it doesn't look so good because the light probes are off as far as the lighting, but you'd be able to interact with stuff like this generator here that has a pretty cool sequence where this thing starts spinning and, you know, kind of casts some shadows on the walls, and you know, so you just interact with this little lever here and then this thing would crank on and it just like make a little bit of noise and be kind of fun. And so this is the bunker. It's yeah, this is another area of it. And probably the lighting is a little bit stronger here so you can see some more. The ambient light is just off because it's on a separate level, but yeah, this is kind of where the main area is, and where you get most of, or actually all of your missions. And yeah, so this, you're gonna find this at the beginning of the game. After the plane crash, you'll be directed to get to this location. So, and this one will have, you know, a few other things that you'd be able to do. And this is that elevator that I was mentioning to you. And there's like there's a few levels to the bunker that you'll be able to access, and have a couple of missions in here. So yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell. I'm gonna take a break, get some lunch, or late lunch, and I'll if I had a few plans for the afternoon. If they get canceled, I'll definitely try and do another stream. If not, I'm gonna be gone next week, or at least not able to do it. So I'll be back at it in about a week and a half. After that, it's just a little vacation, and hopefully I'll see some of you guys then. I'll continue posting things on Discord, So I hope to see you in Discord. All right. Well, take care, everybody, and again, thank you so much for stopping by, and hopefully there was something enjoyable to watch. All right. You guys have a great rest of your Sunday. Take care, everybody.